What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So I have a video here by Filipino Boo, and he's going to try to pass the UPCAT in the Philippines. And shout out to Filipino Boo for putting out this video. So let's listen in and see if he can pass the UPCAT.
Hello moms, ako si Filipino Boo. From today's video, I'm gonna start a bit English from today. Actually, I think my English is getting better since last year because I already been here for 1 year. But I'm not sure it's good or not because my English is not good, and actually I feel like it's very awkward for myself to speak English in the camera myself. But I will try. And today I'm gonna solve some problems about UPCAT. I heard it's one of the best university in Philippines, and I don't know lots of people know about it, but I graduated from the best university in Korea. Of course, my best is not English. I was good in science and mathematics, but anyway, I was a teacher in Korea for 5 years. I think actually I'm still teaching my students by online, so it's more than 60 years now. But not like before. Like just 2 years ago, I teach my students like I have more than 30 students, and I taught like when I was very busy, like 10 hours for a day. Almost every day I work teach my students before, but now I don't teach them much. So I got this one from Lazada. I paid for 300 peso only. Actually, the 300 peso is not cheap. It's like the same price, the book price in Korea. But I feel like it's cheap because the number is 300. Because 300 peso is equal to 7,000 won in Korea. So it's like 300 peso, which is 300. It's cheap, sounds cheap, but it's not actually cheap. Anyway, it's like my mind is like a 75% is excited and 25% is a bit worried. What if I cannot solve it well? Because it's written by English. So I think my English is getting better talaga. When I first time arrived here, I cannot speak well. Maybe in 2 to 3 years, I can speak English very fluently in here. Maybe I hope so. And then also Tagalog. Oh, okay. The book looks cute. I don't know how many subjects they have to take. If they have physics, I won't take it. And if they have English, mm. So I don't know how many minutes they give for that.
Okay, Filipino Boo, at least, if you guys don't know, he went to one of the SKY universities. So you have S for Seoul, Korea for Koreago, but it's Korea University, and Y for Yonsei. So, yep, so he's an attempt, and as you heard, he taught, math over there in South Korea. And these days, I don't blame him for now getting out and, being in the Philippines. And plus, I think, he has a girlfriend, so he does have to communicate with her and get better. And he's getting better with his English, so no problem. So yeah, let's listen in.
It's just like this. Holy shit! It's like they have 150 exam programs. Is it true? How can I solve it all? I think it's just like a collection of the problems about the exam. Science looks like something, biology and chemicals and others also. And I'm not good at it about chemicals and biology because it's something about in Korean education. I have to so many to memorize it, but I'm not good at memorizing something. I just want to know the principle of it and then use of it. How many exams they have? How many exam programs?
I don't know. It's just reviewer.
Usually 20 to 30. So today I'm gonna solve from number 1 to number 20, and then maybe it's more mahirap in number 130 to 140. I will solve it. So to start 30 programs, and I will check how many minutes it will take from here. I will start now. 지금 이제 20번까지 푸는데 7번 30초 걸려요. 7분 30초. 근데 살짝 조금 예상보다는 조금 난이도가 있어요. 근데 I have to speak English. I forgot. And from 8 to I will start the game 131 to 140. measures triangle plus z. 어쨌든 90도. It takes 16 minutes, but stop it at this time because of the camera errors. Anyway, so I'm done solving, but because sometimes it's very confusing because it's written by English. So, and then the A, B, C, D, especially in these programs, I have to memorize what is the meaning of the A, B, C, D. So it's sometimes confusing. But actually, it's much more harder than I expect. It's very different from Korea, but one is D, B, D. Huh? I made mistake. I know it, really. I know it, but I made mistake. I know it's 2 and 3. Yeah. But I made mistake. Yeah. CD.
Of course, this is beyond my capacity for this type of level of math that this guy can do. So, so go at it, man. Go at it.
AADC. So I got wrong 3. I cannot believe it. Really, I cannot believe it. Really. But it take for the 5, it's really my mistake. And 6, yeah, I'm wrong about it, but I don't know about the relation. What is that? But I know it's not a function, but I don't know about the meaning of the relation. And the 135, I don't know the meaning of the remainder. Maybe that's why I'm wrong.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not easy. I thought it's not hard for me because of the English, I think. And then I don't know how many problems they should solve in how many minutes. But if you know about it, you can make some comment about it. And yeah, if I have some time, maybe I can review it. So maybe I can check that I'm wrong about number 5. And then place Ortiga Center is paired with Galatun building.
Wait, there's an Ortega Center. Whoa, I thought, yeah, I was just thinking of Ortegas, you know, in the city of Manila, right there. All right.
English is much more harder for me in synonyms, and there are some. It's my first time to see this kind of word. I think I should show it to Taipei someday if she's come back. I know. 아, 제가 봤을 때는 컷이 얼마인지 모르겠어요. 조금 이 책이 좀 더 어려운 책이 아닌가. 제가 인터넷으로 한번 봤을 때는 이것보다 더 쉬웠거든요. 여튼 제가 이제 한국에서 이제 지내면서 실제로 한국은 교육열이 굉장히 세요. 강남이나 이렇게 좀 교육열이 좀 센 그런 지역을 가면 막 책 들고 돌아다니는 막 그냥 어린이들 되게 많이 보여요. 그리고 진짜 뭐 이제 고등학생들은 하루 10시간씩 이상씩 이제 학교에 다니면서 수업을 하고 공부를 하고 그럴 정도로 교육열이 막 굉장히 센데 뭐 저는 개인적으로 그게 효율적이고 정말 올바른 방법인가에 대해서는 잘은 모르겠어요. 아무튼 그런 데서 교육을 받았었고 제가 거기서 되게 좋은 점수를 받았고 교육 쪽에 계속 오래 있었다 보니까 좀 자신감이 있었는데 뭐 영어는 자신감 없었고 수학에서 이제 3개를 틀리면서 약간 뭐랄까 좀 부끄러운. So I asked about it to ChatGPT and she said I can pass the exam in mathematics because they said 70 to 80% can be considered a good range. Actually, the program is like that. It's like there are 2 ways to make it hard. One way is like make it hard to understand the programs, and then 2 is like make it hard to solve the programs. So I think most of the thing in here is like number 1. It's hard to understand the English and hard to understand what does the problem means.
Yeah, so I get the fact that the language stuff, but yeah, overall, I think he pretty much can easily pass this thing, especially if you went to Seoul. I mean, for those that don't understand, to get in the sky is so almost impossible to get into. So, no, this guy actually, yeah, he went to a lot of HELL to be where he's at. So,
So I think at least 90% of the student in Korea cannot pass this. They should reach to certain amount of the English level first because it's very hard to understand, even for me. And I heard their willingness to study among the East Asian countries. Philippines is the one of the highest country, so that's why the exam is very hard, and they have something like a similar system like Korea. Like Korea, they have a s.k.y, and here it's like they have a UP and NASA, Ateneo, and they have some famous university in here. And it's very interesting for me because it's kind of culture in Korea. So anyway, I really enjoyed my content today, and so today my video ends here.
okay, yeah, like you said, he has this their Sky, as I mentioned, and of course I know him by the UAAP schools, the 8 schools, with UP Diliman, De La Salle off of Taft Avenue, because there's Adamson, there's of course Ateneo, because I just know because of sports. But this guy, yeah. For him to be where he's at again, you know, I don't know what it's like, but I know what it's like for Korean students to try to get to Sky. They're trying to always get in there. So yeah. All right, shout out to Filipino Boo for this video and taking this UPCAT, in the Philippines. So always yeah, he's a pretty good content. So I enjoy some of it. And yeah, and if you enjoyed any of this content, please give me the HKO special help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment, and wherever you are, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video.